What's going on, guys? Mickle here, and in this video I'm bringing you some breaking XRP news as well as some technical analysis at the end of the video. Guys, it's times like this when we have negative price action that it's super important to focus on fundamentals, and in this video I'm going to be bringing you guys some information that is going to keep you extremely confident in XRP. It's so important to understand what you own, and this video should reassure you that you are holding a game-changing digital asset that will define the future of finance in an internet-based economy in the future. Guys, if you're new to this channel or come here all the time, make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to my channel. It's going to help me out so much in the YouTube algorithm and help more people like you see this video. Anyway, guys, let's jump right into it, and I hope you enjoy the content. Alrighty, guys, let's get started. And the first thing I wanted to get into is this post right here, and it's really going to let you guys know how early we are to cryptocurrency and how much potential profit we can make if we hang on to these assets for the long term. If we take a look at this post right here, it's essentially comparing the adoption curve of the internet to the adoption curve of cryptocurrency. The first very notable thing we can see right off the bat is cryptocurrency is actually being adopted at a faster rate than the internet did. The internet was game-changing and changed the way we share information all around the world. Cryptocurrency is going to change the way we move value all around the world, and we can see by how fast it's being adopted that it's really a no-brainer that this technology is going to fundamentally change the way the world works. It's actually growing faster than the internet, and that lets us know that this technology is here to stay and is going to have a more profound impact than a lot of people can even understand. If we take a look at where we are right now in this cryptocurrency adoption curve and compare it to where we were in the internet at a similar time, we can see that investing in cryptocurrency right now is actually similar to investing in early internet companies in the late 1996 to the early 1997 period. This is absolutely massive because at this point, if you were investing in internet companies, you likely had a very good understanding of how they were going to change the world, but the larger market did not really understand this yet. You were still considered extremely early at this point, and it was only those who really understood how these companies would change the world were the only ones who really owned any of these early stage internet companies. This is pretty insane because we can see, and if we just look at a stock like Amazon, that if you were buying Amazon in the late 1996, early 1997 window, you were getting Amazon from anywhere from $1 to $4 a share. We can see since then, Amazon has absolutely exploded. And at that point in time, a lot of people were saying that Amazon and these internet companies were overvalued and they were never really going to amount to anything similar to what we hear in crypto now. Well, we know those who understood what crypto was, how important it is, how big its growth is going to be. We know people who understand that in crypto are going to be positioning themselves in a very similar place to those who position themselves in the internet stocks in the late 1990s. Guys, what I am saying is if we understand this adoption of cryptocurrency right now and can find top tier digital assets that will persist in the market and will be the leaders in making this change to an asset or a digital asset based economy, we are going to be poised to make a massive amount of money just like the early investors in the internet did. We are really investing in a next layer of the internet, so we need to find companies that are going to persevere and will end up having charts in the future that look exactly like what we're looking at Amazon. In my opinion, a no-brainer company and cryptocurrency that will be around for the long term is Ripple and XRP. XRP and Ripple have game-changing connections with the legacy market and are helping to bring them in a new age of a financial system built directly into the internet. We can see right here that King Solomon tweeted out that July 3rd, 2018, already more than 1,000 companies were using Ripple, and this is massive. This creates a network effect where the more companies that get onto RippleNet and are using XRP, the more companies that are going to be forced to also integrate with this system. Think about it this way. If you get one large bank using Ripple and XRP, and maybe a couple other large companies, the other businesses that do businesses with those users using Ripple and XRP are going to be forced to adopt the technology because it's the fastest, quickest, and most efficient ways to do payments. They're going to be forced to adopt the better technology, and the more companies that take on this technology is going to create a network effect and bring in more and more customers into the ecosystem. The more people that join the ecosystem, the more powerful it becomes, and at that point, it's going to become a standard for payments the same way as Google and Amazon became the standard for search and buying online goods or e-commerce. This is a very easy play in this market, and I believe it's so obvious to see how massive Ripple and XRP are going to be once regulatory clarity comes to the market. I want to point out that if you were investing in Amazon in the early 1998 to the 2000 range, a lot of the asset moved on speculation, and it was all a massive part of the tech bubble where Amazon eventually fell pretty massively, around 77%. Yet despite this, those who understood the connections Amazon had and how important it was going to be in the future were able to sit through this and later saw their positions gain exponential value as Amazon became a dominant player in e-commerce. We know that other connections Ripple and XRP have are with some of the largest banks in the entire world. Just recently, this document released, which essentially shows that Citibank is directly using RippleNet technology. Citibank and other massive banks have likely had to be very conservative with their announcements of using Ripple and XRP. But it's crazy, after all this time, we can continue to see documents like this showing that these banks are well aware of what Ripple's doing, and they're likely just waiting for the regulatory clarity in order to fully integrate a Ripple and XRP payment system. Another massive development that's just coming out was actually released by King Solomon, and it actually shows that XRP was essentially successfully tested by the Central Bank of Russia. There are no cryptocurrencies that have the type of connections and have the type of adoption Ripple and XRP have, and that is what makes me extremely confident that when we are investing in these very early digital assets and digital asset companies, that we are getting top quality companies and assets that will be able to persevere over the next 2 to 3 decades and become what Amazon did and many of the large technology companies were. This is what makes me extremely confident, because if we look at the people Ripple's working with, we see people like the Rockefeller Foundation, Google, and the Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation, as well as most of the top 100 banks in the entire world. This lets us know that Ripple and XRP are going to have staying power, and outside of some insane event, are going to be a very safe bet to be a top tier player in this asset class in the future. The next thing I really wanted to get into has to do with the Ripple SEC case, and we can see that a lot of large players who don't normally dabble in the crypto ecosystem are really starting to pick up on what's happening in this case and the potential conflicts of interest that are taking place. We can see that Rosin Layton, an editor and writer of Forbes, says, "Who will protect the investor from the SEC?" She's essentially pointing out the fact that it's becoming blatantly obvious that the SEC is really regulating this asset class with their own interests in mind, rather than the interest of the retail investor who they're supposed to protect. I think it's great that this lawsuit is making the front pages of Forbes, and this is just going to give more attention and put more pressure on the SEC, who's pursuing a lawsuit where they really don't have any good backing or any good I don't know what the word for it, any good reason to keep this lawsuit going. They're yet to make any good points, yet to have any good evidence on why XRP would be a security of Ripple, and it's very good to see large media companies like Forbes pointing this out. We can see right here, I thought this was a pretty funny post. XRP is not a security, massive list of different countries. XRP is a security, just the US. We can also see that senators like Warren Davidson, or I think he's a congressman. Yep, congressmen like Warren Davidson are also pointing out how absurd it is what the SEC are doing, and the more attention we get from mainstream media and mainstream regulators who are putting pressure on the SEC, the faster the SEC is going to have to resolve this lawsuit and essentially settle on some things with Ripple that if they didn't have this pressure, they might have thought they would be able to get away with. Some other stuff I just want to show you guys. I thought this was a pretty funny tweet. It shows how much a dollar would buy since 1998 and then how much a Bitcoin would buy since 2012. The price of the dollar is getting devalued. The price of Bitcoin is going up exponentially. I just think this is one of those things that shows us that we need to be positioning ourselves in these top tier digital assets because they will help us make massive amounts of value in the future. The last thing I want to show you guys is actually this post right here by JD, and he's essentially just pointing out the symmetrical triangle that we have now been watching on this channel. We know that the old symmetrical triangle we've been watching over the last couple months unfortunately broke to the downside, and we've been forced to make some adjustments to our plan going forward. We can see right here that the XRP weekly chart is closing perfectly on top of this support line, and we now have a support line that goes all the way back to the crash of December 20th or December 21st, 2020. We can see right here that the lows are continually getting higher and the highs are getting lower, putting us in a textbook symmetrical triangle pattern, and we're looking for it to break out around late February. It's very likely the XRP price could break out sooner than that, and I really don't see the price going any lower than where we are right now based on the support we're seeing. If the XRP price closes a weekly candle anywhere below the 80 to 75 cent region, I think it could invalidate this pattern, but it looks like we're getting really good support right now, and I think it's going to be super interesting to see how this pattern plays out in the future because it looks like over the past year it's been respecting these zones very well, and I think once we break out of this, the price will get extremely parabolic and we'll be heading to new all-time highs and really pushing towards the $10 to $12 range, but we're going to have to break out of this triangle first. I don't know exactly when that will happen, but we'll be watching this pattern develop over the next couple weeks and months and seeing if the next time we come up and touch this resistance line, if it will cause a massive spike to the upside. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed the update. Make sure if you're still here, you like this video and subscribe to my channel. For now, Mickle out.